Now, this is probably one of the most widely debated versus battles in the entire fandom. Chunin Exams Sasuke versus Neji. In every YouTube video, Reddit post, or anywhere you might find this topic being addressed, there is always a huge divide amongst fans regarding who would win this fight, and most arguments you'll see online will have people swinging really hard in either direction. It's always a surefire victory for Sasuke or a curb stop for Neji. In today's video, I'll be giving my own personal opinion based off of both the anime and manga showings of both characters. For the purposes of this video, I won't be touching too much on feats before the final round of the exams, because before Sasuke's training for a month with Kakashi, he would have had very little chance of winning against Neji without the curse mark. And at this point in the series, Sasuke had his curse mark sealed by Kakashi, so we're going to assume that he won't use it unless for the purpose of negating the effects of Neji's gentle fist, much like Naruto did with his nine-tailed chakra. All that being said, let's get right into the video. In the beginning of the Chunin Exams arc, Sasuke, even with his newly awakened two Tomoe Sharingan, is absolutely humbled by weighted Rock Lee. Like he genuinely stood no chance. If my guy hadn't shown up and knocked some sense into Lee, Sasuke would have most definitely been cooked. The lesson that Sasuke learns in this ass-kicking is that although Sasuke possesses the Sharingan's visual clarity, it's meaningless against speed that he can't physically match. During the prelims, Sasuke is pushed into a corner by one of Orochimaru's subordinates, Hiroyakata, with his nasty chakra sealing jutsu. Orochimaru goes on to make a mental note that Yoroi is the worst possible opponent for Sasuke at this current moment, due to the strain of awakening Curse Mark Stage 1 for the first time, preventing him from having the stamina to effectively use chakra. He goes on to say that Sasuke has no choice but to use the Curse Mark power to win the fight. Sasuke is pushed to his limit with the fight until he remembers his encounter with Rock Lee's Taijutsu and is able to use the true power of the Sharingan and recall the memory of Lee's movements and copy them, effectively making Lee's technique his own, albeit with a bigger strain on his stamina. Sasuke, for the remainder of the preliminaries, is pretty much out of commission in a hospital bed until he approaches Kakashi during his rock climbing training. We don't see anything from Neji until his match with Hinata, but one thing I want to address might be a hot take, but it's a scene I feel like is constantly misread by fans and YouTubers alike. The scene where it seemingly took the efforts of 4 Jonin to hold back Neji from cooking Hinata. I completely disagree with the notion that it legitimately took the collective strength of these 4 ninja to stop Neji. I feel like the more realistic takeaway from this instance is that they were all simply attempting to stop Neji at the same time. Kishimoto, from my point of view, drew this panel in a way to demonstrate Neji being very dangerous rather than so powerful that they need several ninja to stop him. Or it could have been to show Neji's rage with Hinata rebelling against his ideology of fate being out of one's control. Even with that being said, Neji is extremely powerful, probably somewhere in the high Chunin tier of strength. From what I can gather with the knowledge we were given, Neji doesn't seem to have changed much in the month between the prelims and the final round. Unless, of course, you think the rotation is something he learned in that time period. Even so, I'm sure a jutsu like that, even being learned by a prodigy like him, would at the very least take a full month to learn. That being said, I'm inclined to believe he probably didn't make any meaningful jumps in speed or raw strength in that time. Sasuke at this point, even completely healthy and in control of his power, would likely still lose rather quickly.
Sasuke, after his training with Kakashi, grew immensely in power. Using his Sharingan, Sasuke further copies the ferocious fist techniques, as well as Lee's general speed. Something I haven't heard many people speak on with him is that Sasuke had a very limited scope of Lee's taijutsu, being that all he really had to go off of was the brief scuffle he had with Lee in the beginning of the exams. He also was the only participant who didn't see Lee fight Gaara, and show his full speed without the weights, so it makes Sasuke learning all of this that much more impressive to me. Although, I guess you could say Kakashi gave him some direction. It's still impressive nonetheless. Sasuke goes on to increase his speed throughout his battle with Gaara, getting to the point where Guy remarks that he's basically the same as Lee's speed with his weights removed. It's not explicitly stated, but if you think about the perception the Sharingan gives you, Sasuke should be able to exceed weightless Lee's speed. If you pay close attention to both Lee's battle with Gaara and Sasuke's a month later, Sasuke seems to do more damage and draw more blood from Gaara, to the point where Gaara retreats into his sand shield in order to release Shikaku. This could mean that Sasuke potentially is moving faster and hitting somewhat harder than Lee, and I'm not trying to say this is fact or clear evidence of Sasuke being faster or stronger than Lee, and I'm definitely not saying Sasuke is faster or stronger than Lee after opening the 4th or even 5th gate. It's just an interesting observation. Neji shows the majority of his noteworthy feats during his battle in the final round with Naruto, weaving through dozens of sets of Naruto's clones like they were nothing. Naruto has been training to mold and control chakra better so that he can use the summoning jutsu effectively. Naruto has better control over his chakra, and unlike in the prelims, Naruto doesn't have the seal that Orochimaru put on him messing with his chakra network. So this is quite possibly the best Naruto we've seen up to this point. He goes on to be pressured by Neji until he eventually awakens Nine-Tails chakra. Neji is able to hold his own with this Nine-Tailed Amp Naruto, matching his speed and reacting pretty equally to it. This is the point in the fight where we actually get to see Neji going all out. Although Naruto goes on to win the match against Neji, I'd argue that this was another case of Naruto's ideology colliding with the adversary of the arc and conquering it. Naruto is only able to be put in a position to win due to the Nine-Tails opening his chakra points and also giving him the extra power to scale more evenly with Neji. This amp that Naruto gets is, by his own admission, larger than the one he felt before. It's unclear if he's speaking on the chakra he felt when he summoned Kamabunta or when he fought Haku, but because he now has a cloak, I think it's fair to say he's referring to the Haku fight. In which case, Neji scaling in speed with Naruto gives us a decent understanding of about how fast he can move. I think given what we see, it's not crazy to think that Sasuke at full speed is at least in league with Neji, if not maybe having a slight edge in movement speed. Sasuke's speed with the Chidori is where I really think, coupled with the Sharingan, should be able to beat Neji's strongest technique, the rotation. Sasuke, although being pressed to his absolute limits in his second battle with Gaara, is still able to react to Gaara's one-tailed amp speed thanks to the Sharingan and tag him 2 separate times with his Chidori. Although one could argue he hits him the second time because of his curse mark amp, he was still able to tag him the first time without it, so you could say it helped him activate a third Chidori, whereas he couldn't otherwise due to his lower chakra pool in part 1. I've seen a few people on YouTube make the statement that because base Naruto is able to seemingly perform better against this amped Gaara than Sasuke, Naruto is much stronger than Sasuke, and because Naruto needed the Nine-Tails chakra to even stand a chance against Neji, Neji must be stronger than Sasuke. This is just a simple misunderstanding of the series. Naruto is heavily mentally amped as he is in many instances in the series due to the desire to protect his friends. This is probably one of the most overused narrative devices in the story, the I gotta save my friends amp. Naruto only wins due to this strong desire to protect. Also, I think it's more than fair to say Naruto is both underestimated and not seen as a true threat. This coupled with his usual unpredictability gives him the upper hand, proving this is a fact that shouldn't be included when scaling these characters. Gaara with his one-tailed amp should absolutely be stronger and faster by a good degree than Neji at this point. This, to me, paints a pretty clear picture as far as Sasuke being the favorite to win this hypothetical battle, albeit it's incredibly close and could honestly go either way depending on the circumstances. However, this is all just my opinion. Feel free to discuss who you think would win in the comments. That's all I have for you today, guys. Thanks for watching, and if you happen to like this video and would like to see more, please consider subscribing and leaving a like.